Danny Bulford here on the left, ex-RCMP and ex-Trudeau security detail. Vincent Gircys, an ex-Ontario provincial police officer, and Eddy Cornell, a Canadian Armed Forces veteran. The press conference was interrupted by the mainstream media, who again was trying to run their narrative that this is an unsafe event for children being in positions where they may need to be taken by child services and whatnot. And the scrum was promptly ended then. We just wanted to ask two big questions. Is this a fear tactic by the Ottawa Police, or is there something for the public to worry about as well as the participants of Freedom Convoy 2022?
Are you referring to the most recent document and notification that has been handed out to the truckers?
Yes.
I strongly believe it is another intimidation tactic. We've seen an interim chief come in and with using strong language about a deliberate plan to end the occupation. And it's the same pattern we've seen over and over and over again. They ramp up the rhetoric about enforcement action, and they use the strong language to describe, derogatory language to describe the truckers and the supporters, and then they might follow that up with a low-level police action. But in the meantime, it elevates everyone's stress level and anxiety about this being it, that the hammer is about to fall. The federal government is going to deploy or mobilize police on a mass scale to clear out the entire protest and make mass arrests. So I suspect it's another repeat of the same variant, just like similar to the COVID variants. It's a repeat. Every time everyone starts to feel a level of comfort, like, okay, we're going to be all right, they repeat the cycle. So I strongly believe it's another part of their, another step in their psychological strategy.
So in essence,
and I concur with that as well, and our legal team concurs with that. There's no legal authority behind it.
and in essence, would you say then it's safe for families and supporters to come back up this weekend again to support the Freedom Convoy 2022?
Absolutely.
Yep. My family has been downtown multiple times, and including my own children, and I have no safety concerns for my kids.
The safety concern that I have is the actions of the police.
Yeah, I feel that the greatest threat to our children is the current government strategy.
So we've noticed a marked decrease in the number of police officers on the ground Monday and Tuesday. Do you think that's just respite and days off?
I think the simplest solution is what I usually like to lean toward. So with the lower crowd numbers, they don't need the same police presence. And yes, for sustainability, they probably need to rotate people through.
And do you know the morale of the truckers right now? Are they feeling any worry?
They are unflinched. They are dug in. They are very, very determined that there's nothing more important than their freedom and the fundamental principles of democracy that are being very quickly eroded across Canada. And they're not just here for them, for themselves. They're here for all Canadians. All Canadians.
Have you noticed any truck driver who left because of this threat, or because their account bank have been froze, or their license have been pulled?
Some trucks have left, have cycled through. Some just logistically need to go for whatever reason, and new trucks come in. But there's quite a few new trucks and convoys coming this way. So we ask all Canadians at this time, at this juncture, to support this cause, to support this. We do not want to lose our democracy and our freedoms, and this is all about that.
And you don't need a truck to be here. Just bring yourself, bring your friends, bring your family, and have a good time while you're here.
And your bouncy castles.
And your bouncy castles, yes.
Well, that's what got us into trouble last time, was those bouncy castles.
As retired RCMP and OPP, do you think it was necessary to deploy the Emergencies Act against the convoy?
No, absolutely not. In my mind, there's absolutely no action from within the Freedom Convoy that would justify invoking the Emergencies Act. None.
Yeah. We're not familiar with what's going on elsewhere in the province or the country other than what we see on the news. What other people are doing and how that might affect that is its own initiative. But here, this is peaceful, and we have the right to have a peaceful protest, and that's exactly what is happening here.
very organic as well.
I would, just one thing I would like to note, when we are inviting Canadians, please come and grow the support base. We've seen overwhelmingly the case has been like, thank you truckers, which absolutely we all agree with. I will forever be grateful for what they have done. Now, I'm going to ask, bring signs asking the police to stand up for Canadian rights and freedoms, because that, if the enforcement arm stands up for Canadian rights and freedom, this is over.
Yeah.
What is your biggest fear that what is going on, like with all the threat? What is your biggest fear for the future that's coming up for here? Is it the violence? Is it the confrontation? What it is?
It's our government and its response to this process. That is very, very fearful and troubling. And as a Canadian of 61 years of age, I have never experienced anything like this in my lifetime. My parents came to this country because they lost their country from another country that invaded it during the Second World War. And the stories they told me are similar to what I'm seeing happening here now. I remember those stories, and that's what makes me scared.
Do you have any ideas about the police here who are working on the ground, on the streets with the truckers? I mean, they're seeing the bouncy castles, they're seeing the revelers. It's like the World Cup has been won by Team Canada, and Canada, they mix together. So do you think any of them are waking up and realizing, hey, the narrative, the government is pulling something over our eyes?
Yes, I know they are.
Yes.
I know that they are.
They tell us every day. The police that are here, I speak to quite a few of them walking around, speaking to officers that are on duty, and they don't like what's happening either. And they, are supporting what the truckers are doing. In fact, they've been some of the best information sources that we've been able to get, so it's great.
So
we thank them very much for helping us.
So they're helping to shift this narrative now, and then as well support the movement from the inside, is what you're saying?
I can't speak on their behalf, but
I think it's exceptionally difficult for them to speak out in their environment. The final straw for them is really retiring early or just quitting the department, and that has been happening. My conversations with police on the ground are very supportive of us. Again, they can't speak out. But keep in mind, it's not just police and military vets that are here helping out. We have people from all walks of life across Canada that are here that are making a change in effect. Professionals, just salt of the earth people who are coming here and supporting this. That's what it takes. It takes all Canadians to come together to make this change. Don't leave it up to us. We need you. We've asked for you to come. Please come. And when you come, don't just come on weekends, come midweek. Sort of spread it out. And we thank you. We thank you all from the bottom of our hearts for all the contributions that they've done.
Thank you guys too.
Just like to finish off with anyone who's been watching the news, like the mainstream media, and they think that what is happening here is that we're violent and we're bullying. It's absolutely false. Come down and see for yourself. You will never find a greater diversity and more welcoming crowd. It's more joyful than Canada Day, and I've worked every Canada Day for the last 8 years.
So thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
guys. We're getting lots of good stuff out. What I want to talk to you about is what our team back in BC has put together that people can start sending, and I hope you guys can go through. I'm just going to cut off. Okay, guys, we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
I love you guys. I didn't realize I was in press conference.
So there you go. You get a few more questions out on the street. I hope you guys share this, and just like they were saying there, it's up to you guys to get the truth out and keep sharing and posting, and like the interview that we just did that wrapped up the other press conference, to continue getting informed and just sharing that information.